UFC Fight Night, man. Emmet versus Murphy. I just watched some film on the main event chat, like some of their fights, and like we're gonna get to that a little bit later in the video, but this fight is actually so hard to call. It kind of pisses me off. Like I hate like 50-50 fights like this. It's just so weird. Like I'm gonna talk about it later, like I said, but they're both good at different things, man. And it's just like, or kind of similar things, but it's just like Lerone's ability to get hit is kind of concerning. All right, bro, going through this card chat, like I went through it already. Like it's not the best card name value wise. Holy crap. But we're starting off strong, bro. We're starting off very strong with Vanessa Demopoulos, said that wrong, and Talita Alankar. Yeah, let's just not butcher names anymore. Vanessa is coming off a submission loss, but I just remember vividly the submission loss. She was like crying about how she got submitted, like saying, "Oh, it didn't count. She grabbed my glove. She grabbed my glove." She like started making excuses, but you know she lost. Same with Talita. She's also coming off a loss. This is not very. Oh yeah, man, high level WMMA, man. Like I don't really care. I really don't. You know. As far as stylistic matchup goes, like I feel like both people know how to grapple to an extent. You know, sometimes Vanessa will use her grappling when she's like getting outpointed on the feet, but it just depends with their approach. She just has a strong base. She's pretty strong physically, Vanessa. But this Talita girl is also a decent grappler too. So I don't know how the fight's gonna go, but I'm assuming Vanessa's gonna be primarily she might not be dictating the fight. I can see her on the back foot a couple times, but I feel like overall she just has more tools and she's more experienced in the UFC. Whereas I feel like this Talita girl has 3 fights in the UFC. One was a draw, one was a loss, one was a win. She just can't, like, bro, draw, loss, and win in the 3 fights you had in the UFC. Like, she's good at every outcome, brother. You know, real bad woman. You know, any outcome, she probably has had it and she has it done. So, yeah, draw, wins, and losses, but she's going against Vanessa, who I feel like is a little bit more seasoned. Had a good little win streak riding before her last submission loss. In that submission loss, they did grab her glove, to be fair. She was kind of crying about it too much, but, you know, they did cheat a little bit to get that submission. But overall, who wins? I'm going to lean Vanessa Demopoulos. Butchered her name again, but I'm going to lean Vanessa. I just feel like she has more tools and she's a little bit more experienced than Talita, so I'm going Vanessa for that fight. Next up, okay, we have Victor Henry versus Pedro Falcao. We call him the Falcon. Victor Henry, I've seen him in some of his fights. He actually has some competitive fights. He's coming off a loss, of course. This Pedro guy, I haven't seen too much film on him specifically, but he's pretty experienced. He's 16-4. But from what I've seen from Victor Henry chat, like he's just been against the best already in this division, I feel like, and he's given them some competitive fights. I feel like I don't know what the odds are for this fight. Okay, -170. Yeah, like I said, these fights I'm not really like jumping up and down for. Like I'm sorry if I'm not. Yeah, dude, like fucking Victor Henry and Pedro, dude. I can't wait for this fight. But I have seen Victor Henry a lot more than I've seen Pedro, and for what I've seen from Victor Henry, I'm comfortable enough to say he's probably gonna win by points or something like that. So I'm going Victor Henry. Yeah, my knowledge for this fight, I'll be real, is not that high because I don't know too much about this Pedro guy, but I just know about Henry. So I'm gonna go with the guy I know with, and he's a favorite for a reason. Hopefully, we'll see. Man, and this card just this card's not, sometimes I forget about how privileged I am to be just like calling cards like this, man. This card's a banger, man. We got Loma Look Boon Me. Look Boon is me, like, you know what I'm saying, like, versus Etzela Nunez. I've never even seen her in my life, but you know, hear me out. Anyways, listen, the little chubby little Asian, I feel like I'll be real, I don't know anything about either person. But this Loma is she shoots about 2 takedowns every 15 minutes. And I think this is gonna be the difference maker right here, unironically. I feel like their striking stats are pretty similar. Loma lands a bigger percentage of significant strikes over a smaller period of time compared to Nunez. And on top of that, she has some decent grappling with some good grappling accuracy. And then this girl, Nunez, has 50% takedown defense. So I'm just going to go based off the stats because no one gives a crap about this fight. I'm going to go Loma Look Boon Me. Bro, these Asians in their name, bro. Look Boon Me. Like, brother, dial. She's from Thailand. All right, yeah, I'm going her. All right, Riz McKee. I think that's one of Hamza's first fights versus Daniel Frunza. Fun fact about Riz McKee, he has won 0 fights in the UFC. This guy should probably be cut. But he's going against someone who's coming off a Dana White Contender Series, coming off a win. Situations like this, when they're giving someone McKee who has 0 wins in the UFC, I feel like they give him to build up a prospect or help someone get their name out, and that's what they're going to do with Daniel Frunza. I feel like Daniel Frunza is coming from Dana White Contender Series. He's going to go against McKee, who hasn't won a single fight out of the 5 he had in the UFC, and then he's going to get his first win. So I think the debutant from Dana White Contender Series is going to beat McKee. McKee's just not very good. Yeah, Hamza mauled him, but everyone else beats him too. Like, it's not just, oh yeah, Hamza's just great, that's why you beat him. Nah, McKee just is not that good. He just doesn't know how to win fights. So yeah, I'm going to go Daniel Frunza by KO points probably. So yeah, Daniel Frunza, the debutant from Dana White Contender Series, is going to beat up the the unwinnable Ireland person. All right, we got some baddies, man. Bro said baddies. Diana Belbita. She's always like, bro, I always see her. I swear she's just like a cosplaying ass. Like, I don't even know what to call her, bro. All I know is she's in it more for like the aesthetic of, yeah, man, I'm a UFC fighter. Going against Danya Barboza. Now, both people aren't known for winning an absurd amount of fights. Diana Belta is coming off a loss. She did lose to Molly McCann. I'm not saying Molly McCann's a bum, but like, you know, she submitted Diana pretty easily. She's not like a bum. She's just not very good. She's not a very good fighter. She should probably stick to modeling. I do probably have Barboza comfortably in this fight. Like I said, Diana's not going to be the type to like go in there and just give up. Like, one thing about her, she doesn't give up on herself. She has a good amount of heart and she fights through stuff pretty well. But she just doesn't really have the skills to pay the bills. So heart is one thing, but if you don't really got the skills, I can't really lean towards you. So I'm gonna go Barboza for this fight. I feel like she's gonna be too much on the feet, and I feel like if grappling needs to be done, I feel like I'm gonna favor Barboza over Belbita. So I am gonna go Diana over the fucking Rio batting over there. You know, if I wanted to, I could pull that. By the way. Like, look at me, brother. Real bad, man. If I could really pull that, I just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? But I am gonna go Barboza over Belbita. Belbita maybe go Malto after this, the Romanian. You know, this is what I think, brother. Okay, this fight's interesting because this fight is very close to me. Davey Grant's last performance, he looked really good. I think it was against Tavares or something, where he put that crazy, like, significant strike, fucking not record, but he was beating the hell out of him. He looked really good. He looked sharp. He looked abnormally sharp. Like, I wasn't used to him being that sharp, but he's going against Daniel Santos, who's also a pretty sharp, heavy-handed striker with some grappling if he needs to. Like, he doesn't always grapple, but his grappling's pretty good. Both people know how to mix in takedowns to the extent, but I'll be real, the way Davey Grant's last performance looked, it's very hard to bet against him. That being said, I don't know if that performance was like not a once in a lifetime, but like he looked better than like anything he's ever looked before. His output was just there. He was landing so efficiently. He was just old man maxing, like no hairline maxing. He got the Peter Yan hairline. Holy shit. That's literally the Peter Yan hairline, brother. Crooked hairline. Who this guy, brother? This is crazy. And then the Charles Oliveira doppelganger. I really think the Charles Oliveira doppelganger is going to probably get it done if he could hurt him. Like I said, Davey Grant really surprised me with his output. Like, Davey Grant's hittable. It's not hard to hit him, but if you give up too much on the back foot, he will walk you down. But Daniel Santos is not the guy to give up the back foot a lot. He doesn't really be backing up a lot. So I feel like if he's gonna meet Grant in the middle, he just gotta hope that he could deal with like the volume that Grant comes with. And I think Daniel Santos can. He's been in there against some tough fighters, so I feel like he has what it takes. But I wouldn't be surprised if Davey Grant could pull it off. I'm sure. Yeah, he's an underdog. See, the underdog money looks good for Grant though, based off his last performance, but that might just be... Well, if last performance is... Like, if he's anything like his last performance, he could definitely beat Santos. I just don't know. Like, that it was such a weird fight looking at. I was like, how is he doing this good? I think Daniel Santos is going to get him. I think his power is going to be the equalizer. And I feel like Grant would not be... he's not going to be as confident coming forward with the absurd amount of volume that he's used to if he goes against a Daniel Santos. So I am going to go Daniel Santos by KO points, my friend. This is my official pick. Okay. Audie Osborne versus Louis Gurgel. This is also someone making their debut from Dana White Contender Series. Now, Audie Osborne's like a 3-4 fight losing streak, by the way. 3-4 fight losing streak. Audie Osborne's not looking good. He didn't lose to Lazy Boy. And this is why I was so confident in picking against Lazy Boy last week, because I understood that like he's very beatable. This Louis Gurgel guy, like he's gonna come in, he's gonna expect, oh, this guy's on a 3 fight losing streak, he's a bum. But Audie Osborne is actually very talented. I think he's gonna actually break this losing streak and beat this debutant. You know, want to know in Dana White Contender Series, beating these guys by decision, they're not the same as Audie Osborne, who I feel like is just a way more established, and like he's won against the best. Like he's losing to some fair names, like some decent names. You know, I just don't think Louis Gurgel is gonna be the guy to go in there and put the beats on him like Dr. Dre. Like Audie Osborne, brother, be careful, brother. Yeesh, this guy's a real bad man. So I got Audie Osborne winning this fight comfortably. I think he's gonna be too fast for Louis. I think he's gonna be too quick. If I feel like Louis is gonna need to grapple him, if anything. You know, sometimes Audie Osborne can be susceptible to takedowns, and that could slow him down. But yeah, that's his only hope, and he's never shot a takedown yet. But that's based off his last fight in Dana White Contender Series. I don't know, like in the regional scene, I didn't see any footage there. So yeah, I'm gonna go Audie Osborne because it's a safer pick, and if it's gonna be a striking match, like good luck to Louis Gurgel when you're going against someone who's actually a pretty established striker who uses his kicks really well as well. So I got Audie Osborne winning this fight for show. All right, main card. Holy shit. Chat, No Neck Part 2. This is the black No Neck, man. Real ones know who No Neck is on my channel, but he's 3-0. The thing about Taurus Finney, though, is he's giving up a lot of height. This dude is... What the heck? Chat, you won't believe what they have his height at. Let me show you guys something. This guy is 0 feet, 0 inches. So, chat, when you're going against someone who's 0 feet, you got to realize this guy don't got any feet on him. Like, why did the UFC do that? They're dickheads for that. But jokes aside, he's not a very tall guy, and he's going against Robert Valentine, who's so bad, but is 6'2". You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not good, but he's 6'2". Towards Finney, we know what you're gonna do. You're gonna go in there, you're gonna wrestle, you're gonna wrestle, you're gonna wrestle. You know what I'm saying? And Valentine has a 66% takedown defense. It's not great, but I'm pretty sure he has some good grappling, which is dangerous for Finney. Finney has no neck, but like if anyone can submit you, it's gonna be Valentine. And then on the feet, it's like Finney's kind of green, man. I don't know the odds for this, but I'm assuming Finney might be a decent favorite. But going against a 6'2" submission specialist in your like UFC debut is like, it might not be the best for you, he did look good in his content. Like, he would get caught a lot, but he'd use his hard-nosed wrestling. But I think I might go for first of all, look how racist this guy is. Like, you can just tell this guy's racist as hell. Like, the tattoos on his body, bro. There's a swastika somewhere there, bro. I don't care what anyone says. But I'm going to have to go for the racist. I think Robert Valentine's going to pull off an upset. This is crazy. I don't even like the fact I'm saying this, but I actually think so. Like, I feel like he's a decent grappler from what I've seen and what I viewed and what I watched. And he's just 6'2". Like, I feel like on the feet, his strike is not great, but I think if he uses his range enough, he could keep Finney at bay. Finney did get busted up pretty bad his last fight, even though he won. In the Dana White Contender Series, like, his fucking nose was leaking, blood all over the place. If you smell with the Rock, like, he was over here like having promos with his fucking blood just streaming down his nose. It was kind of funny, but yeah, I think the 6'2" grappler is gonna be a little bit too much for him. So I got Valentine by submission or points. This is a little risky pick, probably a huge underdog pick, but a dollar, brother. If it make money, it makes sense, brother. So I'm going Valentine for that one. Interesting matchup here because GM3 is pretty solid, but so is Brad Tavares. But they're solid in different ways. Of course, GM3 is coming out the RDR fight where I thought he was winning actually, until RDR Houdini'd. But and then there's Brad Tavares, who's always game too. They're not. Both these guys are like what I call seasoned vets, bro. They're seasoned vets. They've been against some of the best. They went against some of the worst. Brad Tavares went against the prime Adesanya. GM3 going against a young Hamzat getting knocked out. Both guys have been through the ringer. So, yeah. How do they match up? It's like I see Brad Tavares having more success on the feet. I think GMD is going to want to take the fight down on the ground, and it could work. But, like, Tavares is a pretty good defensive grappler. He has an 80% takedown defense. He's been against people who did wrestle him and score on him. You could take him down for sure. I do think GM3 has what it takes to take him down, you know what I'm saying? But can he control him? Maybe for a little bit, but I don't know how long he can. I feel like GM3's path to victory will be to wrestle. Whereas Brad Tavares just wants to keep it up and put the beats on him, bro. Like, slip his punches, I don't know. This is a hard fight to predict. What are the odds for this? I'm curious. Minus 258, Brad. That's a bad odds. Those are horrible odds. If I believe in GM3, I'm putting my whole bank account on him. But I don't know if I believe in him. Like, yeah, he is. Like, RDR is just a weird fight. Like, I know he looked decent in the RDR fight, but RDR's technically is not the best. Oh, they're gonna say he's just DDP maxing, but no one can really DDP max unless you're DDP. But I see what you guys are saying. But GM3, it's just gonna be a harder fight because I feel like on the feet, which is where fights primarily are, and given Brad Tavares pretty great, decent takedown defense, I feel like he's gonna keep it on the feet primarily and kind of put the beats on GM3. But that we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see. Right for now, I'm gonna go Brad Tavares. I do think Brad Tavares has what it takes to beat GM3, so I'm gonna lean Brad Tavares in this fight. But it's gonna be competitive. I don't think GM3 is gonna get washed, but I'm gonna go Brad by KO points. That's my pick. Kennedy Nezechuku, hi, Tfiakwa, ha, dollar, brother. My Nigerian brother, Nezechuku. As you know, my Nigerian name, Kenechuku, we're both Igbo Nigerians. I could tell he's in the Igbo just because of his last name. But Nezechuku, man, heavyweight. He made his heavyweight debut against, I believe it was fucking Fat Boy Front Flip. Yeah. Can't believe I forgot his name right now. I'm casual maxing. Fuck. I don't know. I forgot. He's like one of my favorite dancers. All right. But Nezechuku looked great at his heavyweight debut, losing his teeps really well. One thing I like about Nezechuku is, like, I feel like some tall people don't use their range well. Nezechuku only uses his range. Like, he has a really good teep kick, really good straight punches, and he's going against a pretty huge guy in Martin Buday. Who's also 6'4", but he's a fucking look at his weight, dude. 275 maxing, bro, in heavyweight, bro. It's huge. Whereas Nezechuku is kind of a smaller heavyweight on paper because he's been fighting a light heavyweight most of his career. But he got up to heavyweight pretty well. He looked a little bit chubby, but that's what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? there's not going to be much grappling in this fight. If anything, it might be Nezuchuku who mixes in something in the clinch, but we're going to have to see. I think it's going to be primarily a striking fight, but I feel like Nezuchuku can use his range a lot better. I don't know the odds for this. Okay, minus 270 Nezuchuku. One thing about Nezuchuku, he's not going to fatigue like these heavyweight blobs. Like Bude is going to have a good 3 minutes and 25 seconds in him, and he's going to start sucking air, dude. And that's when Nezuchuku is going to fucking teep kick him, stick and move, just be the best Nigerian on the planet, Future heavyweight champion, brother. Nigeria, we're still here, brother. I don't know about heavyweight champion, but he has potential, man. Stop playing with my boy Nezuchuku, brother. Dale, I got Nezuchuku for the win. Kennedy, let's get it done, brother, for Nigeria, my friend, for Nigeria. Okay, this fight's interesting. Cortavius Romanos versus Chang Hong Lee. Well, I'll say this. Romanes, like Cortavius, bro, has the blackest name ever, first of all. Cortavius, I feel like he's not bad. His last fight he did lose, but it was a pretty competitive fight. He mixed in takedowns pretty well, but like when he couldn't take them down, it was kind of like he was kind of like having trouble on the feet. He's going against a South Korean who's a pretty decent, like heavy-handed striker. So I feel like it's going to be primarily like, it might be a lot of grappling because I know both guys can grapple. Lee has mixed in his grappling against other Asian fighters. I think he was like on that like one Asian series. I forgot what series about UFC, Road to something Shanghai. I don't know. But he was going against a lot of Asian fighters, and we look good against. Like, I don't want to, like, I swear, Asian fighters fight, sometimes they fight similarly. Like, they just come, like, balls to the wall, just throwing hands, I think Cortavius' game plan is going to be to wrestle Lee, because if he doesn't wrestle Lee, he might have trouble on the feet with Lee. But he's a pretty decent wrestler, but if Lee was a horrible wrestler, I'd lean Cortavius, but the fact that Lee has, like, some good wrestling ability as well, I think I'm going to actually go the South Korean, so I'm going to go Chang Ho Lee for the win. It's very close odds, plus 145 Cortavius, and then minus 175 Lee. I do think Lee has more comfortable on the feet than Cortavius, which is why I'm going to give it to Lee, and Lee's also pretty aggressive, and I feel like he could fight for a long period of time as well, given that aggression. So I am going to go Chang Ho Lee for the win, brother. Dale. All right, this one's interesting. Pat Sabatini and Joanderson Brito. Brito is coming off a loss. I didn't know he was gonna lose his last fight. I did predict he was gonna lose his last fight. He's not gonna lose this fight. I feel like Pat Sabatini, he's tough. He's a marauder, but I don't think he's as well rounded as Joanderson Brito. And William Gomez and Brito like had a good little war, but I feel like Gomez started fatigue, and that's when Brito started to come alive. So I feel like Brito's gonna trust his aggression earlier on in a fight like this. Where I feel like Pat Sabatini is not as long and rangy as Gomez and doesn't use like long range extremities as well. I feel like if you could keep Brito away with like long legs and stuff, he has a harder time. But once he starts walking you down, that's when it becomes problematic. But if you don't use long extremities in general, like Pat Sabatini is not known for like oblique kicking and like push kicking and teep kicking and keeping people at distance, and I feel like that's gonna make him struggle against a Joanderson Brito. So I do got Joanderson Brito winning this fight. We'll see if the fight goes the distance. It might. They got Brito as a minus 205 favorite, which makes sense to me. Sabatini's not bad. I just don't think he's enough for Brito. And he's always been around the picture, beating some decent names, losing some decent names. But I feel like Joanderson Brito is going to be a little bit too much for my featherweight. So I'm going to go Brito for the win. And of course, the main event of the evening, what everyone cares about, because I don't think you guys really care about half the other shit, unless you want to make money. But dude, watching film on this was so weird for me. It was like a roller coaster because I watched some Emmet first. I watched Emmet, Mitchell. There was nothing much to take away from that except for like the concerns I had for Emmet in this fight, and I'm gonna talk about that a little later. Then I watched Emmet versus Yair, which showed huge holes in Emmet's game. And then I watched some Lerone Murphy footage. The Dan Ige fight, like bro, Ige was putting it on him in the most scary way possible. Like bro, he just fights. He's like a Leon Edwards. It's hard to explain. Like he doesn't like pressure too much. But he's a good boxer. Lerone Murphy's best weapons is his boxing. Like, not even his kicks, his boxing. You would think he uses his kicks a little bit more, but he doesn't, and he's going to need to against Emmet. Emmet's weaknesses are body kicks. Yeah, you exploited that. It's the body kicks, the low kicks, to just keep him guessing, If you're going to have a straight boxing match with Emmet, you're going to probably get chinned. And I feel like Lerone Murphy kind of falls into the lull of, like, relying on his boxing a lot. So that's not going to go. It's just not going to be a good thing to do against Emmet. I'm hoping that Lerone Murphy's a little bit smarter and realizing I'm going to need to use my kicks. I'm sure he's watched film on Emmet and understands that Emmet can't handle body kicks specifically. It's almost like it's there for the taking. Like if you just got to kick the sunken. Like look at his six pack. Look at it. He has like four hard ass six packs on the top, and then the bottom there's no definition there. You got to kick that part. Yair was kicking that. It was having this dude in pain, bro. So I'm telling you, bro. If he goes for the body, the lower half of that body, like right, what I'm saying, right there above the waist, he's gonna hurt him. But from what I've seen with Murphy, he doesn't like to kick much, but when he does, there's like a low kicker there, a low kicker too, but he's got to do more body kicks specifically. If he fought him the way he fought Barboza, he's getting knocked out, because in the Barboza fight, he was so heavy in the boxing style. I was rewatching that fight, and he was just like, which makes sense on paper because I guess you just want to box with Barboza because when you get in his pocket, he's not good. I'm sure he's not going to have the same exact game plan, but if he does, he is going to get knocked out by Josh Emmett. The thing about Josh Emmett here, Chad, is that like he has puncher's chance, but like I don't like to look at fighters. Yeah, he's going to win because he has puncher's chance, man. You know, like I hate that shit. It just doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like if I'm picking a fighter solely based off puncher's chance, they really got to be a special boxer. You know, and Emmett's a pretty good boxer. You know, he's a pretty sound boxer. Of course, Ilya butchered him, but Ilya's special in the boxing realm. You know, Ilya avoided some shots. You know, listen, Emmett's good for who he is, and he's a very good power puncher. We know him as a power striker. He's not the highest output, which is not the best for him. In the Yair fight, I saw in the first 2 minutes, he didn't even throw a single strike, or like land a single strike. In the Bryce Mitchell fight, he didn't really land until he threw, or like he didn't really land until like he actually committed to a shot. He's just not very high output, and I feel like Lerone's going to be more high output than him, which could lead to him being up on the scorecards and Josh Emmett needing a knockout later in the fight, which by then his gas tank might not be fully there and his power might be fully there. So I don't. That's why it's hard for me to pick Emmett. That being said, if you are going Emmet, you're probably relying on him to get a finish early, which is possible. Lerone Murphy is literally known for getting rocked in every single first round. His ability to like get hit is like, it's so impressive. I'm impressed about how easy he gets hit in the first round. Lerone Murphy's so bad though. I hope he's not good. Yeah, he's a 34-year-old prospect, but he's just not good. So I don't want people, oh yeah, he's gonna destroy Emmet. He's the future, bro. Even if he beats Emmet, which I think he probably has a good chance of doing, he's not great. He's just not a great fighter. He has so many holes in his game. He's very hittable, and if he goes against anyone who's well-rounded, who's like they're just cooking. You know, Dan Ige arguably beat him. You know, and yeah, it wasn't a good look. I don't know, man. Lerone Murphy, he's a good prospect at 39. You know, he's one of my favorite 42-year-old prospects. Like for a 45-year-old prospect, I'll give Lerone Murphy credit. He's pretty solid. Dude's turning 50 tomorrow, so I'm bro, I'm joking. But Lerone Murphy, he's talented. And he's probably going to get this done. I'll give him the win. I do think he's going to have too much output for Emmet, whereas I feel like Emmet's going to kind of be looking for one shot, which is not going to be to his favor. So I am going to go Lerone Murphy by probably points. Could he finish Emmet? Sure. If not points, by KO or points. He could actually hurt Emmet. Emmet gets hurt. Like I'm saying, if he invests in the body, he'll hurt Emmet and get him out of there. But for now, I'm just going to go Lerone Murphy for points, and that's it. And as for a parlay, what I do, I'd probably go, give me Murphy, give me Brito, give me Nezuchuku, give me, yikes, everything else is fucking hard. And then maybe give me Audie Osborne. I'll probably put that for a parlay. That's my Mr. Kenny predictions, brother. We went 11 out of 12 last card. Let's try to go 100% this card. That's it for me, though. Let me know what you guys think down below, and God bless. 2, 3, 4.